Help me! Save me!
What's up, horror lovers? Welcome back to my channel. Before we jump into today's absolutely mind-bending story, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because the stories I've got coming up will seriously mess with your head. Some stories repeat themselves over and over until you finally realize you're not just listening to a story anymore. You're trapped inside a terrifying nightmare, a real-life horror story. And some stories? Man, even when I sit down to research them myself, I think this has got to have some kind of ending, right? But then I get to the end and there is no end. I have absolutely no clue what actually happened. The story I've chosen for today is exactly like that. You saw it in the title, The Endless Loop. This story makes no sense to me whatsoever. I can't figure out the beginning or the end of it. But the one thing I definitely understand, the absolute terror that runs through every single moment of it. Today, I'm telling you this story, and I just hope that maybe you guys can at least understand the ending, because this is honestly one of the most different horror stories I've ever told on this channel. Alright, let's get into it. So this story starts with 4 college buddies: Ryan, Vance, Aiden, and Neil. These 4 friends lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and they all went to college there together. Their exams had just finished and the weekend was coming up. It was off-season, so they figured, hey, we should definitely go somewhere. We can get great prices on everything, and the roads won't be crowded either. One of them, Ryan, suggested, guys, let's go to the Smoky Mountains. It's rainy season right now and the weather's perfect. I think we should definitely head up there. Everyone agreed with the plan. Then Aiden chimed in, it's about a 5-hour drive. We can easily cover that if we leave around midnight. Aiden also mentioned, the famous cataract falls up there. We can go see the sunrise there early in the morning, and then head straight to our Airbnb or hotel. Ryan said, yeah, sounds perfect. We can get early check-in too. He told everyone, meet me at Neil's place around 11 or 12 at night. So around midnight, all 4 guys met up at Neil's place and took off for the Smoky Mountains. It was getting pretty late, and it started raining lightly. The weather was beautiful, and everyone was having a blast in the car. Sometimes they'd play games, sometimes they'd listen to music. Everyone was just enjoying themselves. After a while, they turned the music down because it was getting really late and some people wanted to sleep. But then Aiden, who wasn't driving, said to Ryan, dude, I really need to use the bathroom. Number 1, can you please pull over somewhere? Ryan looked around and said, bro, look at this road. It's completely desolate out here, and we've only got like 2 to 3 hours left. Can't you just hold it? Aiden insisted, no man, I really need to go. I can't control it anymore. Vance and Neil, sitting in the back, started giving him grief. Dude, Aiden's gonna be our biggest problem this whole trip. Watch, every hour he's gonna want us to stop somewhere. But Aiden was practically begging, guys, please, I swear I can't control it anymore. Finally, Ryan gave in. All right, fine, I'll stop here. And here, take this umbrella. It's pouring out there. But Aiden was in such a rush that he didn't listen to anything. He just threw open the car door and ran straight into the woods to use the bathroom. After about 2 to 3 minutes had passed, Ryan was getting impatient. What's taking him so long? We need to get going. Vance and Neil looked out their windows and saw Aiden just standing there in the distance, not moving, like he was just frozen in place. Vance called out, Aiden, dude, come on, we need to go. But Aiden didn't respond. Instead, he started making these gestures like he was trying to listen to something very carefully. Vance yelled again, dude, what's wrong? Let's go. We're wasting so much time. Then Aiden turned around and said something that chilled everyone to the bone. Do you guys hear that voice? Vance replied, what are you talking about? There's no voice out here. Aiden looked terrified. While I was using the bathroom, I heard what sounded like a woman not too far from here. Someone was beating her up, and she was screaming really loud, help me. Save me. Help me. Save me. I keep hearing these voices, and I think I need to go check it out. Vance was getting frustrated. Dude, stop messing around. Why are you being so weird? Just get in the car. We're gonna completely miss the sunrise if we keep this up. But Aiden didn't listen to any of them. He just walked straight into the forest and disappeared. After waiting for what felt like forever, Vance, Neil, and Ryan started thinking he was just messing with them. When he still didn't come back, Ryan and Vance decided to go look for him, leaving Neil in the car. The rain was getting really heavy. They couldn't hear anything, and at first they couldn't see much either. They just used their phone flashlights to move forward. They thought they were walking into a forest, but when they walked a bit further, it actually opened up into a clearing. They were pretty happy about that because they figured they'd be able to spot Aiden in an open field. But they looked everywhere and Aiden was nowhere to be seen. In the distance, they could see what looked like a real forest, just completely surrounded by darkness. They didn't really want to go near it because they could see some shapes moving around in there that could have been anything. Still, they went in a little bit, but it didn't seem like there was anything particularly dangerous inside. They started searching and calling out for Aiden, but he wasn't responding. His phone was ringing when they called. They had full signal, but he just wouldn't pick up. This doesn't make sense, they thought. Maybe there aren't enough of us searching. Let's go back to the car and get Neil too. With 3 people, we'll be able to search more effectively. They headed back toward the car. When they opened the car doors and quickly got inside because of the rain, they looked in the back seat and got the shock of their lives. There was Aiden, sitting right next to Neil, completely soaked from the rain. They were absolutely stunned. This was impossible. They knew for certain that Aiden was out there in the woods. They had just spent time looking for him. Ryan asked just one question, "Aiden, how did you get in the car?" Aiden looked at Ryan and Vance for a long moment without saying anything. Then he took a deep breath and said, "What do you mean? I came back the same way you guys went out. I walked right past you to get in the car. I thought you were going out there for some other reason, so I got in the car." Ask Neil. I've been sitting right next to him this whole time. Neil nodded slowly. Yeah, he's been sitting next to me. He came back right after you guys left. Even though something felt really suspicious, they decided to let it go. The rain was getting worse and colder, and they just wanted to get out of there. They drove off, and there was that same peaceful atmosphere in the car as before. Some people were sleeping, some were awake, some were talking to each other. Some were listening to music, just a normal car ride. They finally reached Cataract Falls in the Smoky Mountains. But guys, they were so exhausted that they didn't feel like having fun anymore. They decided to skip the activities for now, go to their hotel, get some sleep, and then wake up and have fun later. They went to Cataract Falls, watched the sunrise, and then quickly went to their hotel and slept. They all woke up in the evening. Ryan said to everyone, "Guys, we came all the way to the Smoky Mountains and we haven't been to Dollywood yet. What's the point of coming to the Smokies if we don't go to Dollywood?" Aiden nodded and said, "Okay, let's go." But his mood seemed really off. It looked like whatever happened last night was still bothering him. And it wasn't just him. Everyone was a little bit off because of all the chaos that happened that night. They all got in the car and headed toward Dollywood. On the way, they saw this beautiful scenic view, so they pulled over and stopped their car to take some photos. It was one of those spots in the Smoky Mountains where you can see everything spread out below you. A really nice scenic view. They took photos and everything. Aiden came out too, but he wasn't really saying much. They all got back in the car and said, "All right, Dollywood is only about 10 minutes away. We'll be there in 10 minutes. We can grab some food there. They have those famous funnel cakes. We can buy some stuff, get some drinks, whatever." As they drove, Ryan could see in his rearview mirror that Aiden wasn't saying anything. He was just sitting there quietly while everyone else was having fun. He was just staring out the window. Ryan tried to cheer him up. "Hey man, forget about whatever happened yesterday. Just let it go. If you need to talk about something, you can talk to us. If something bad happened to you, you can talk to us about it." Aiden just nodded. "Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later." Ryan looked at his GPS. The 10-minute trip had somehow turned into 15 minutes. He figured maybe traffic had increased. But there's never really traffic in the Smoky Mountains area. Then something impossible happened. Their car passed by the exact same scenic viewpoint where they had just taken photos. "We were just here 10 minutes ago," Ryan said, confused. "How did we end up back here?" Vance, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, was equally confused. "Dude, we literally just left this place. This was the spot where we were taking photos. Did you put in the wrong location on the GPS?" "No, everything's correct. Everything's perfectly fine," Ryan replied. "But why is this happening? And look, we're the only ones on the entire road." He tried again. He tried a second time. He tried a third time. But they kept ending up back at the same scenic viewpoint. They were following Google Maps perfectly, but this kept happening. They'd get stuck at the same place over and over again. That's when Neil said something that made everyone's blood run cold. "Ryan, have you noticed? Ever since that incident happened yesterday, when you guys went outside and heard that woman crying, things have been getting worse and worse? Weird things keep happening to us. Something's wrong." Aiden quickly said, No, that stuff doesn't happen. That's not real. You guys are just overthinking everything." Ryan said, "Yeah, maybe we should just go home or something." But Vance said, "No, we just got here. We came all this way. We have to make it to Dollywood. I'm really hungry too. Let's keep trying." They tried once more, twice more, but they just kept going in circles. One thing that was really weird, every time they'd end up back at that scenic viewpoint, Ryan would look in his rearview mirror and see a strange smile on Aiden's face. Ryan would say, "Dude, we're stuck in the same place over and over again. We keep coming back to the same scenic viewpoint, and you're laughing? Are you making fun of us? What's going on?" Aiden would say, No, just keep doing whatever you're doing." Ryan was getting really frustrated. They kept driving to the same place over and over. On top of that, their gas was running low. It looked like they had driven so many miles already. Then Neil said, "Guys, wait a second. Someone's put a chakwa on us." "What's a chakwa?" Ryan asked. Neil explained, "A chakwa is when a malevolent entity, some people call it a jira, traps you in its territory and makes you go in circles within that same region. It keeps you wandering until you either go insane or fall completely under its control. That's exactly what's happening to us. We need to get out of here as fast as possible, because once we fall completely into its trap, it won't let us leave alive." Ryan said, "All right, let's forget Google Maps. Let's just ask people for directions." They started asking locals they encountered, and by getting directions from actual people instead of relying on technology, they finally managed to make it to Dollywood. As soon as they arrived at Dollywood, Aiden's behavior completely changed. He became exactly like he was 2 days ago, happy, laughing, talking to everyone, joking around. This was confusing, but Ryan was really happy that Aiden was back to normal and everyone's mood was good, so they could enjoy their time in the Smoky Mountains. But then disaster struck. Ryan's phone rang. As soon as he answered, a voice said, "This is the Tennessee State Police. We found your friend Aiden unconscious on the highway, by some trees. He's in our patrol car right now." The ground disappeared from under Ryan's feet. As soon as he heard this, he turned toward Aiden, and Aiden wasn't there. He was gone. Ryan frantically asked Neil, "Neil, where's Aiden? He was just sitting right here. Where did he go? Maybe he went to the bathroom or something." "He didn't go to the bathroom. Find him. Find him quickly." Everyone started searching, but Aiden was nowhere to be found. According to the police, the location where they were being called was the exact same spot where Aiden had gotten out to use the bathroom, where this whole ordeal had started. All the friends rushed to that location. When they got there was a complete police perimeter set up, and Aiden was sitting in their van. As soon as they arrived, Aiden looked like he had just woken up from sleep. They talked to him briefly, and Aiden said, "I don't know what happened to me here, but before I passed out, I remember seeing a woman. The woman was crying. I went up to her to help her. I told her, 'Come on, our car is right here nearby.' I'll drop you off safely. But as soon as I tried to leave with her, she grabbed my hand and stopped me right there. I tried to get away from there. I tried to run, but here's the thing. I kept running back into the same woman over and over again. It felt like I was going in circles around her, like I was trapped in her territory. It felt like I was getting closer to you guys, but I wasn't actually reaching you. I didn't have the courage to do anything else, so I just gave up right there and passed out. After handling all the paperwork with the police and confirming that yes, this was their friend, they took him with them. Ryan said, "We came all this way to the Smoky Mountains. It was your plan too. You agreed to this plan. Let's at least go around once and stay at least one day. There won't be any problem." They had a great time exploring the area. The next night, they were driving back home. It was the same rainy weather. This time, Vance said, "Guys, I know a lot of weird stuff has happened to us over the past couple of days, but I really need to go to the bathroom too. Please stop the car for a little bit. I'll be back in just 1 minute. I'm not going to make the same mistake Aiden did. Please, I'll be back in 1 minute." Vance went outside to use the bathroom. After 1 minute turned into 2 minutes, then 3 minutes, they looked in his direction and called out, "Dude, come on." Then Vance came to the car window and told them to roll it down. He asked Aiden, "Do you hear a woman crying?" Aiden looked behind Vance and saw a sign that read, "Mountain View Cemetery." And Aiden remembered very clearly, the place where he had been trapped in circles was also a cemetery. He realized, the place where I was going in circles was a cemetery. The place where we've stopped today is also a cemetery. This is the same type of area where everything started, and we're stuck here again. And that's where our story ends today. At the end of this video, I just want to tell you this. Every person has their own story, and they get trapped in it. But guys, sometimes other stories approach you. And these stories aren't easy. They can completely derail your life, hurt you, mess with your mental state, and only malevolent spirits can do that. I always tell you, think twice before going down any unfamiliar road. And if it's nighttime, think 3 times. Because guys, you could get caught in a chakwa too. You could get stuck in the same place, going in circles over and over again, just like what happened to these 4 friends. 2 days earlier, they were trapped in a loop, and today, they're trapped in a loop again. A chakwa can happen to anyone. Maybe you could be the next victim, so stay alert. Thanks for watching.